Are you a casual gamer or are you a hardcore gamer? Do you put 30 hours into a game or do you put 3,000? Are you somewhere in between? No Man's Sky is a game for everybody, and it could be the first of its kind. It could be the first forever game. A game that doesn't need support long term to be considered one of the greatest games of all time. My name is Cosmic. I make Starfield, No Man's Sky, as well as Fallout 76 weekly videos. If you guys enjoy the video and want to help the channel, definitely leave me a like and sub. Super appreciate it. Let's get into it. So, No Man's Sky is a game that was very controversial at launch. Obviously, it had a very rocky start. It was not the game that was promised at E3. I still remember the trailer. Like I said in previous videos, I didn't play at launch. I didn't play until it launched on Xbox, back with Frontiers. But I still went back and watched the trailer, and the trailer blew my mind. The thing that amazes me about No Man's Sky, this planet here, this is called a Planet of Light. I've been playing this game 400 hours, and even I, when I was making this video, was like, Planet of Light, what is that? What is that? I landed on it and I was like, wow, I've never seen this. And I'm 400 hours in. How many games do you know of where that's possible? Most of the time you play a game for that long, you're like, I've seen it all, I've done it all. And I'm sure there are probably many of you who are watching this video like, I've seen that. You may have seen this in your first hour. And that's the crazy thing about No Man's Sky, is that you can see things that people who like me, who've been playing for so long, haven't seen. But in this video, I'm going to throw out a couple things that I think possibly could come in the next year or two of No Man's Sky's life. Hopefully, we might see one of these things in the big summer update. I'm hoping that summer update comes. I'm gonna speculate the beginning of July is when I say it's gonna come. I was looking at the companion app. It still looks like we have like 4 or 5 things to unlock. So I'm thinking the beginning of July. So the first thing I think that they could add is multi-biomes. I think multi-biomes is essential on planets like this. Any planet, really. But how much more replayability and explorability could you get if you add multi-biomes? Imagine a planet where you have 2, 3 biomes on it. I mean, 3 might be a stretch, but even 2 would be amazing. Like, I'm on this planet of light. This is kind of like a barren, not really much on it planet. I mean, it's got some, not really doesn't have any flora. But imagine the other side is a verdant planet full of fauna and flora, or the other side is like an ice planet, or a volcanic planet. That would be really cool. Then they could make these multi-biome planets rarer, so that you'd have to upgrade your engines to find them. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I do feel like multi-biome planets should be fairly common, though, because how many planets, realistically, are going to have just one biome? They could add the inclusion of like gas giants, like Starfield did. That probably wouldn't be a popular opinion because you can't really land on a gas giant. But I think if you take away some of the planets we can land on and replace them with gas giants, that adds to the realism of the game. And I don't know how many people out here are fans of possible realism, but I do think it would help the game overall. But getting back to the action here, another thing I think that they can expand on, I think would be really cool. I don't know if it's on the books for them to expand on, if it's in plans. I think that I've advocated for ship interiors before, but I just don't feel like our ships are big enough, and I don't see them overhauling our ships anytime soon to make them big enough for interiors. So I think a good substitute for that would be the ability to fly frigates. I've heard that idea tossed around before, and when I first heard it, I was like, nah, I don't really like that idea. I don't see how it could fit in the game. But frigates already have interiors, so giving us the ability to fly them and further customize those interiors and put a crew on them, I think would really, really be cool, and it would add to the exploration, and it would add to the reason why you recruit these frigates, and I think it would be really cool to see like the combat of a frigate. That like obviously they move slower, possibly the ability to deploy your wingman out of the frigate to help you fight off pirate fleets or trader fleets. That would be cool, I feel like. But you guys let me know down in the comments whether that'd be something you'd be interested to see. And while we're cruising around space here, it got me thinking. Another thing I really like to see is we have several deep space objects already. Like you look at this nebula, there are things like what are they called? The capsules that are preserving life for other species. We have the enemies that we can't kill yet. I can't remember what they're called. We have the leviathans that you can run into. Now, weirdly enough for me, I hardly run into anything deep space anymore. 9 times out of 10, if there's an anomaly, it's a trader trying to trade with me. So I feel like the variety of deep space objects can be increased. I feel like when you run into like when you talk about deep space objects as well, you could even increase the variation in the deer-like freighters. I think deer-like freighters are something that was introduced in Desolation, and there's something I believe that need an overhaul. I've talked about it on a couple of my videos, and I'll link them down in the description. I think they needed additional enemy types. I think if you could add like pirates on there scavenging for stuff, or different types of deep space fauna on there, that would be really cool. In addition to deep space objects, I think it would be really. I think it's a really good idea to add more enemies in space other than sentinels. We have leviathans, but it would be kind of cool if we had like an enemy version of those that occasionally hunted your ship. I saw a show. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's called My Dad the Bounty Hunter. It's on Netflix. In season 1, they have it. It looks almost like a giant anglerfish, kind of, that resides out in outer space. And I think deep space enemies would be really cool to fight and a really cool experience that you wouldn't find in any other game. Think about it. There's none in Starfield. There's none in Elite Dangerous, to my knowledge. I haven't really played Deep Space Dangerous that much, but to my knowledge, there's no outer space fauna. You could even do think like Sea of Thieves, like with the Megalodon and the Kraken. The bigger your ship, like if you're flying a frigate, you can increase your odds of running into like a giant life form that would attack you. And obviously, we already have damage to our frigates we have to repair, so I think that kind of really goes together nicely. But moving on from there, while I'm in here in the anomaly, it got me thinking about the last thing. I'm not going to talk about it at length because I feel like it's been discussed over and over and over again. I don't think it'll happen, but I'd be surprised because I wouldn't be surprised because I didn't think Frontiers would ever happen, and it happened. And I certainly didn't think ship customization would ever happen, and it happened. Ship customization is one of those things that for a long time when I played, did not want to come to the game. Like, for the first probably 2 years I played this game, I was like, I don't want ship customization. It has no place in the game. It's never going to come to the game. And sure enough, it came, and I was like, this is cool. Now, I've only used it a couple times. I do think it's cool. It's just not. It needs to be expanded on probably before I would use it more. I wish we could add like decals and stuff like that. And I wish we could build our own solar sails. I don't think there's any reason to be able to build exotics or interceptors. And none of that ruffles some feathers. I just don't think that has any place in the game. I think there's a reason those ships need to be unique. But the very last thing I'm going to talk about real quick is cities. And you guys probably guessed it. But Frontiers, the settlements, they desperately need an overhaul. There's really no reason to have them. They produce some resources for you, but they're just there. And if I didn't know any better, I would have thought they were there since launch. They're just, for lack of a better word, boring. I love the idea of, and I know it would be hard to do. You can't have a city on every planet. But it would be nice to have, I don't know, maybe a hundred planets in the Euclid that had sprawling cities on them. Maybe 10 cities. Maybe one. Just one. That's very unbelievable, not realistic, but be nice to have sprawling cities with merchants from various races, from the 4 races, sorry, I forgot they had autophage, and have the overhauled, kind of have the overhauled station, space station, sorry, aesthetic to the city, where you can pick up missions and you can customize your ships, and I think they eventually add modular multi-tools. They'll have a station for that. I just feel like there's no reason why there's not sprawling cities in this massive game that we play. And one tiny other little thing I want to talk about while I'm here at Cities, and it's real small, and I really wish they'd add it. I think about it all the time when I'm playing Fallout 76. I wish they would add interactable base parts. Like, I would love to be able to lay in my bed or to turn my TV on while I'm in here. I would love to be able to, I mean, you can sit in a chair, but that's pretty much all you can do. It would be awesome to just be able to sit in my house and look out over the horizon at the planet that I've chosen to put my base on. But those are my thoughts. Those are my predictions. You guys let me down in the comments whether you'd like to see any of these things. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.